From here? What's here? What country? Was you born here? Was you born here, ma'am? What country was you born in?
What do you mean overstay?
An overstay.
I don't know what that is, dude.
Where were you born? And don't lie to me.
I'm from California, dude.
Don't lie to me. Where were you born?
California.
Okay, so we're gonna take you in and verify your
No,
information.
you're not, dude. No, you're not.
Yes, we are.
I haven't done anything wrong.
You just told me that's you who I have here.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that's you. You just told me that's you.
But that doesn't make me an illegal or anything.
Look up. Turn around or you're going to get the dog. Turn around.
I haven't done
We're
anything.
going to put you in cuffs or you're going to get the
You got people out here locking people up for no reason. I'm born here.
You said you're born here?
Yeah, I'm born here. Kings County Hospital, Brooklyn. I'm born here. I'm stuck. Get on my fucker. Yeah, broke ass. Fuck. Clown ass niggas. Suck my. Suck my.
Hey, everyone.
Yo, suck my. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. As many of you guys know, I'm a law enforcement trainer instructor. I train and instruct military and law enforcement all over the country on various law enforcement disciplines to include constitutional law, case law, patrol tactics, use of force, advanced criminal investigations, etc. And here we're going to be talking about ICE. And as you saw from the videos, and again, the video clips are short, but we know based upon press releases that you've already seen that you saw earlier, we know that ICE has detained U.S. citizens. We know that's happened, and we know it's happened in the hundreds. Personally, I think that's a low number. I think it's probably much higher than that in all actuality. But based upon the reportings, we know that they're detaining. They have detained U.S. citizens, and so somebody has sent me some videos and a question like, "What would you do?" Right, and that's a good question because I mean, if you look at me, I'm Hispanic, and so if we're going under this understanding that ICE is just randomly stopping Hispanic Latino men, well, I would be on the top of that list of people that you would think would try to stop. And as somebody that works in a capacity that's plainclothes, that's the majority of my. For example, right now I'm at a major crimes conference. And this is literally what I wore to the conference. And so being that, I wear plainclothes, concealed gun, concealed credentials, it's very highly plausible that if we are taking this assertion, then again, that ICE is only stopping people that are Hispanic males or Hispanics in general, then you would think that I would be top on that list. I have not been stopped, just know that there have not been stopped by ICE at all, nor am I being 100% honest with you, nor am I worried about it. But that's also because I am a U.S. citizen, and they would soon realize that I'm a U.S. citizen. And again, they have already deported police officers. So as you can see here on your screen, police officers have already been deported by ICE, police officers in this country. So the fact that you're a cop isn't going to save you. But again, I digress. But the question is, what would you do? So if I was in that situation, being that I am I'm a state agent, law enforcement, military veteran as well, what would I do if ICE wanted to detain me? Well, you guys have seen these case laws, and you guys have already seen this template, but I'm going to show it again here to you. Again, the United States Supreme Court has affirmed that law enforcement needs reasonable articulable suspicion in order to detain and compel someone to identify themselves. Brown v. Texas, 1979. And so they're going to need reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime in order to detain me. Well, good news for me, one, I'm a U.S. citizen, and two, I don't commit crimes. And so as far as having reasonable articulable suspicion, again, if they're only going on race alone, well, we know that's not a good enough reason to stop and detain me. So again, I understand the case law. I understand the Constitution, and so if they wanted to detain me, they would need those. So they would need reasonable articulable suspicion. So now that we got that out of the way, let's look at my detainment protocols. And so you guys have seen this. We're going to kind of go with it with a little more detail, especially understanding this. So this is my template. And you can see here, am I being detained? Number 1, pursuant to in accordance with Brown v. Texas 1979. And I would use the case law. I would state the case law. Because again, the reason why I created this template is because I want to maximize my survivability, meaning I need to survive the encounter, right? So maximize everything to allow me to survive. So that's number 1. Number 2, I want to maximize the assertion of my constitutionally protected rights because that is important. And number 3, I want to maximize transparency and accountability. That is why I created this template, and that is why if I'm ever stopped by law enforcement unconsensually, I will 110% revert to this, and we'll let the process play out. Again, for you First Amendment auditors out there, for your sovereign citizen guys, I get it. This isn't sexy. This isn't going to sell. Clicks on YouTube or social media. There's no rage bait in it or anything like that. But again, I'm trying to survive the encounter, especially as somebody who carries a concealed weapon on them per policy, because I'm law enforcement, and also to protect myself, right? So everywhere I go, I do carry a firearm. And so given that I'm a big brown, chocolate, caramel, whatever color you decide, Latino man that carries a gun, yes, my survivability is of the utmost importance. And so understanding that, I'm going to 100% revert to this because my life is more important than clickbait on YouTube or social media. So again, am I being detained? Brown v. Texas. Number 2, I don't consent to searches or seizures of my person or property. United States versus Jones, 2012. 3, if you wish to violate my rights, I keep my wallet and identification and credentials here, right? So depending on what I'm wearing, they might be in my back left pocket, they might be in another pocket, they might be in a fanny pack. I'm going to let the law enforcement officer know exactly where my credentials and my identification are. But again, I'm going to say, if you wish to violate my rights, and I've already affirmed that I don't consent to searches and seizures, I will not impede you. I will not obstruct you from violating my rights. And 100% mean that. I am not going to obstruct them. I'm not going to stop them from violating my rights. Number 4, for your safety and my safety, I'm going to put my hands on my head, interlaced. So boom, just like this, and I'm going to leave it here. And once I'm here, I'm not moving until the encounter is over, or until they put handcuffs on me and take me into custody. And so the reason why I do that, because I'm a use of force instructor, right? So I know, based upon my training experience, again, I'm armed, I'm big, I'm brown. Okay, so again, we're saying if we're ascertaining, and if the idea is that ICE is only going after people like me, right? The fact that I'm big, the fact that I'm armed, that puts me at a very high risk, if that's the assertions that we're going with. So I know it's not smart for me to then, this is a vest, it is not smart for me to put my hands in my pockets. It's not smart, it's not a good idea. Put my hands in my pockets or in my, not a good idea. In my shorts, whatever, I'm wearing shorts right now. It's not a good idea. So I know better when in contact with law enforcement, where, again, their mission is to detain and deport, I know better than to reach into my pockets like that. So I'm not going to. So I'm going to put myself in a position of maximum protection and safety for the officer's interest and for my interest, because my interest is to survive the encounter. Their interest, again, if we're assuming that they're just here to lock up brown people and deport them, that they're going to take me into custody. And so the safest way to take me into custody, high risk, right? If I was doing a high risk stop on a vehicle or a high risk apprehension of a person, that is where they would want me. So I'm going to, knowing this as a use of force instructor, I can automatically justify that. I can automatically, if I can get on the stand and I can defend that in court, emphatically without equivocation. And then number 5, at this point, I will unambiguously invoke my Fifth Amendment rights pursuant to in accordance with Burgess v. Tompkins, 2010. And then once I say that, I shut up. I do not say anything else. I am not going to talk. I am not going to say anything else at all. I mean that. Like, there's no reason for me to talk. There is no reason for me to ask for a supervisor. There is no reason to try to justify or rationale why they're wrong. That is not the time. Courtroom does not happen on the side of the road, and that is not helpful to my case because I do not want to articulate. I don't want them to be able to articulate at all because they're going to have all these USA attorneys, right? Because theoretically, they're going to have protections from the FOP. They're going to have protections from their own Border Patrol, HSI, ICE, union reps, and then they're going to have their own protections from the U.S. Attorney's Office. So knowing the type of lawyers and resources I'm up against, I'm going to give them zero reason to be able to say that I prolonged the stop myself, right? By requesting a supervisor. No, I'm not going to request a supervisor because a couple reasons. Number one, if this guy's already illegally detaining me, why do I want to bring more people with that mindset there, right? If we're ascertaining that the only reason why they're detaining me is because I'm a big brown man, great. I don't want any more of you guys here. I don't. Again, so I don't want any more bad cops, unconstitutional cops, hypothetically. I don't want them to be able to articulate that I'm prolonging my own stop. And ultimately, right, in all actuality, I don't need them saying that I'm also prolonging the stop because I'm voluntarily engaging in communication. I don't want them to use anything against me in a court of law, right? So understanding the law side, right? I've already invoked my right to remain silent. Anything I say can and will be used against me. Why am I going to give them any peace to do anything, right? I give them zero peace to justify the articulation of holding me because I asked to be held. I want to see a supervisor, and I don't want to be able to articulate anything that they're going to be able to use against me later. And after that, I shut up. Everything is up to them. If they do wish to if they do wish that, hey, I see that he has ID. I see that he's not in any of our databases. I see that he is state law enforcement. If they're still wanting to take and arrest me, there's nothing that I'm going to be able to do. So fighting is not going to help. Obstructing is not going to help. And trying to plead my case there roadside is not going to help. So I'm not going to do it. Again, this is coming from somebody who teaches the advanced criminal investigations course. It's just, it's futile. It's futile. Again, court does not happen roadside. So 100% ready and prepared to take that ride wherever it goes. And every second they hold me is 1 second that goes against them in a qualified immunity case. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. But before we jump to that, let's look at our use of force continuum. This is important, and I really need you guys to understand this. This is of the utmost seriousness because we're seeing a lot of things, and I know you guys are sending me the videos. Okay, so I'm absolutely getting them. I'm seeing them. Cool. I want you guys to understand this, right? Kind of like we talked about when the law enforcement officer attacked the VFW commander, military veteran. We have to understand, you guys have seen the techniques and uses of force that ICE is doing, right? So number 1 is officer's presence, 2 verbal commands, 3 empty-handed submission, 4 hard control, 5 intermediate weapons, and 6 lethality. And officers are trained that they can go, and again, I'm a use of force instructor, you can absolutely go from a level 1 force to a level 6 force in the blink of an eye. And remember, I'm already carrying a firearm because I'm a state agent, okay? So I'm already carrying a firearm. I'm already armed. I'm law enforcement. So understanding the force continuum, and if you're a concealed carry permit holder and you're carrying a gun with you everywhere you go, it's super important for you to understand this. And again, if you carry knives on you, if you carry weapons, understand that law enforcement is going to look at a weapon as a weapon. Right, wrong, indifferent, it's of no consequence to me because you need to survive the encounter. So arguing about it roadside is not going to help you. It's not going to help you at all. Understand what it is, fight it another day in court. So again, officer's presence, right? Number 1, verbal commands, empty-handed submission, hard control, intermediate weapons, lethal force. And so realizing that you can go from a 1 to 6 is important. Another thing to understand and be important is, and I hate to say this, the officer's competency and the officer's ability to utilize said techniques. And the reason why that's important is because if you have an officer that is obese, out of shape, not very confident in his empty-handed submissions, then he's not going to use them. Okay, so understand what that means. So like what we see. If again, when I see a cop and he's overweight, and he's huffing and puffing, and he doesn't look like he takes care of himself, that is a very nervous. I feel very uncomfortable, especially if I'm the person of his inquiry, because at least a cop that knows jujitsu, judo, cop that's very confident, he is confident in his empty-handed submission skills, and I expect him to use them. And so if I am not going to fight at all, and I'm going to be 100%, I'm going to assert my rights, but I'm not going to impede him from violating my rights, I know I'm safe. The problem is where we get these cops, again, obese cops, out of shape cops, cops that are not confident in themselves. They're going to use the tools that they trust. And the tools that they trust, it's really important, is not their presence, is not their verbal commands, is not their empty-handed submission, and it's really not their control, hard control. It's their immediate weapons and lethal force. It's their tasers and higher. And this is just honest truth, brass tacks. I know you guys don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. So if I'm coming up on an officer, regardless of what organization he is, he doesn't look like he takes care of himself, he's obese, he's whatever, I already know he's immediately going to an intermediate weapon. That is the first thing that he's going to go to. He's going to totally bypass 1 through 4. It is what it is. So why put myself in a position knowing that for them to be able to justify any use of force against me? I'm not. Again, that's just the cheat sheet there. Take that for what it is. It's the truth. Now, the next thing, again, that I think it's important that we look at is this qualified immunity piece right here. Pearson versus Callahan, 2009. Qualified immunity is a type of legal immunity that protects a government official from lawsuits alleging that the official violated a plaintiff's rights, only allowing suits where officials violated a clearly established statutory or constitutional right. Qualified immunity balances 2 interests. Number 1, the need to hold public officials accountable when they exercise power irresponsibly, and 2, the need to shield officials from harassment, distraction, liability when they perform their duties reasonably. And so understanding this is why I got this, right? Understanding qualified immunity, we have to understand why I created this template this way, right? So if you guys haven't gathered why I created the template the way I did, it's because, again, what does it say for qualified immunity? Supreme Court, SCOTUS has said, in Pearson versus Callahan, 2009, they need to violate a clearly established statute or constitutional right, right? So I have given them case law, right? So I'm telling you, hey, am I being detained pursuant to in accordance with Brown v. Texas, 1979? Yes, you are. Cool. That part's done, right? So if they don't have reasonable articulable suspicion, they are violating a clearly established statutory and constitutional right. Because I have a right to not be detained, compelled to ID without reasonable articulable suspicion, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, if they search and seize me, right? So if they start going in my pockets, taking my wallet out, going through my credentials, that's another clearly established constitutional law that's been interpreted by United States v. Jones, 2012. So 2 constitutional rights they have violated, right? 2 different SCOTUS case laws they have violated. Plain and simple, right? And if they arrest me and they take me to custody, boom. We just keep going with it. And so that's why I utilize the case law. That's why I utilize this template, because again, they're clearly violating statutory constitutional rights, right? And then let's go down to the interest, right? To hold officials accountable when they exercise power irresponsibly. I am demonstrating that they are holding their police powers irresponsibly because they are irresponsibly seizing me, they're irresponsibly detaining me, they're irresponsibly arresting me. They're irresponsibly taking away my constitutionally protected rights with no legal basis. And then 2, they need to shield officials from harassment, distraction, liability when they perform their duties. I'm also doing that because I'm not harassing them. I'm giving them the safest environment possible. I'm putting myself in a position in which they would take custody in a high risk, high stress environment, right? This is a felony level takedown. This is what they would want for a felony stop. So if they stopped a vehicle that was stolen, that just did a bunch of bad stuff, this is the position they would want the suspect in. So I'm also going out of my way to not harass them, not impede them, not obstruction, and also to take away all distractions, because they don't have to worry about me putting my hands in my pockets. They don't have to worry about me arguing with them. They don't have to worry about me being abrasive. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to assert my constitutionally protected rights, and I'm going to affirm that by giving them the case law, and then I'm taking away all the harassment, all the distraction, and all the liability that they would have and the stressors they would have for them to perform their duties, in this case, unreasonably. So I'm doing all of it, right? I'm doing everything that needs to be done to demonstrate that they are acting unreasonably and against the Constitution of the United States of America. And that is how you get the qualified immunity pulled. That's how you get the 42 U.S.C. 1983 lawsuits going. And that is how you hold things accountable. And so, again, it's important that we talk about that. And again, I know this template's not sexy. I know this is not like a First Amendment auditor, sovereign citizen template they're going to use, but this is what I use. Because again, I need to survive the encounter. I need to affirm my rights to the highest level, and I need to hold law enforcement accountable. 100% gets me there. And again, this is just what I would do. This is not legal advice, like you saw in the disclaimer earlier. This is not legal advice. This is just what I would do. If you're asking me what would happen, because that's the question, what would you happen? What would you do if this happened to you? This is exactly what I would do, and this is the why. Well, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. But most importantly, tell me what you think. What would you do if ICE or anybody was going to, detain you, illegally detain you? What would you do? How would you go about it? Would you utilize this template? Do you like it? Do you don't like it? Let's continue this in the comment section below. As always, guys, long live the Republic.